Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. What you're seeing today is my financial independence retire early goal, and I do this by starting with $25,000 invested over $500 a month over the next 18 years, getting to my 40th birthday, which is listed right here on February 5th of 2039. Now, I have these goals mapped out month by month. And you see right here, this is where I'm at so far in 2022, and this is what it looks like on an annual basis. Now, financial independence retire early is something that many people typically sought after, but it is something that is not easily acquired. It takes lots of time, it takes decades of work, tons of discipline, and lots of major trials and tribulations come from it. Now, the path to financial freedom is not an easy one, but it often has massive rewards. You have freedoms, you have options, you have many things in your lifestyle you typically wouldn't have otherwise. Now, I have this article right here that I pulled up, and it has the 4 most important things for financial independence and the 4 questions you need to ask. And those 4 questions are, what does my ideal life look like? Where do I want to be spending my time? When do I want to be financially independent? And how much money do I need for financial freedom? We're going to answer that in this video, because in my portfolio, I always show you guys the balance. As of right now, I have $41,026, and I also showcase all of this through my spreadsheets that I show right here. Let's zoom back out, and let's go ahead and start with my balance. Since starting YouTube, I showcase this at the first of the month every single month, starting with $1,500 up to the most recent month, $36,738. My holdings, which are according to this pie chart right here, which is updated every single month, I have Salesforce, Amazon, Google, and Crocs all listed right here. This is my portfolio performance versus the indexes. As you can see, I'm beating pretty much all of them other than the Dow, which is currently at negative 8% as of the first of this month. And then also we have M1 Finance, which is the brokerage that I'll be showcasing this, where I share my portfolio down below. If you want to see what I invest in, my growth stocks, my dividend growth stocks, this is all listed down below. All 23 companies that I invest in, the 19 dividend stocks, the 4 growth stocks, are all shared down below in the description. And more importantly, not only can you sign up for this for free, you'll get a free $10 for doing so, and 134 people have done so far. So thank you guys for tuning in, and without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at question number 1. What does my ideal life look like? Now, I think that this is one of the most important questions, and I'm so glad it's number 1 because it is extremely important. What do you want your life to be? What do you want it to look like? This is not a question you should just be asking with your finances, but you should just be asking in general. What do I want my life to be? Do I want to be like others? Do I want to be stuck in the rat race? Do I want to be in a corporate job? Do I want to have a wife and kids, a family? These are the questions you need to be asking yourself. And oftentimes, people have obligations that typically keep them stuck. Whether it's a bad job or a bad relationship, geographical issues, maybe the country that they live in is keeping them back. But generally speaking, this is the number 1 question you should ask. And financial independence retire early is not just about money, it's a lifestyle choice. And typically, when you're making the right lifestyle choices, financial independence retire early becomes much easier. And this is what the FIRE movement's all about. Getting freedom and opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise because you're not in a financial position to do so. Number 2, where do I want to be spending my time? When you decide what you want your life to look like, you need to decide what you need to spend your time on. Do I want to be retired? Maybe, maybe not. And if the answer is yes, what do I want to be spending my time on? If I'm retired, what am I going to do all day? Am I going to spend that with family? Am I going to coach Little League? Am I going to pursue a hobby? Am I going to start a business? And if I do want to be working, where do I want to work? Do I want to work full-time, part-time? Do I want to work a corporate job? Do I want to work for myself? Do I want to be creating opportunities just outside of the normal corporate world? These are the things you need to be asking yourself when you're spending your time. Whether it's spending time with family, creating a business, pursuing hobbies, pursuing some sort of passion, or just learning new things, creating new experiences, traveling, whatever it may be, you need to be asking yourself, where should I be spending my time, and is it being allocated properly? Number 3, when do I want to be financially independent? This is one of the biggest questions because oftentimes we have to pick a time period in our life when we want to be financially independent. Right now I'm watching this and I'm 23 years old and I'm typically a younger investor than most. And I try to invest in companies that are constantly growing my wealth. Now what I look for are businesses that are successful. You look here, we look at Salesforce. Let's pull up the annual charts here. This is my number 1 largest investment. Last year, they grew their revenue 24.66%, currently hitting $26.49 billion. And last year, their profitability had a similar story, growing 29% over the last year, currently reaching $5.28 billion. Now notice how the revenue and the profits are growing, and typically the stock price is doing the same. If we could pull up their stock chart here, you notice that over the short term there's been a hiccup in 2022 like with most stocks, but the further out we go, if we look at the 2-year, the 5-year, the 10-year, and then of course the all-time chart, the further out you go, the more successful this story looks. Over time, going back when this company went public in 2004, it was a $4 stock. Even with today's downturn, it currently sits around 150. So comparing a $4 stock to today's 150 share price, you can see that if you were an investor in this company, you would be growing your wealth 10 times over, 20 times, 100 times over. So you can tell that over time, if you're investing in profitable, growing companies, that over time you're likely going to be successful. And it's not just CRM, I have many other investments as well, including ones like Amazon, which of course, over their long track record, they've been extremely profitable, including other names like Google and so on. You get the point. I don't think the strategy here on what you're doing specifically to grow your wealth matters, but more so that you're investing and looking to compound your wealth. And your age and your timeline is a big part of this. Your income is a factor at play, your age, other thing as well, like how many children do you have, if any? What is your health situation? Do you have health insurance? Do you need it? What are the other type of situations you need to play into your personal factors? Because the biggest thing that people tend to forget about personal finance is that it's personal. It's unique to every single person. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. And for example, if you look at my example firsthand, let's pull back up here. Let's go to the first balance tab. You can see that my goal is to get to $1 million invested by the age of 40. Now, what I'm planning to do here is not retire by age 40. I think it's more so focused on getting myself to a position where I can choose to what I want to do. Right now, if I quit my job and I didn't do anything at all, it wouldn't be long before I really started to run out of money and I would really be in a bad place and I wouldn't know what to do. However, if I had $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in the bank, I would have what they call FU money, which means you could do whatever you want in life. You're not tied to a job, a location, a relationship. You can pretty much do whatever you want. And that's really what money does. It gives you freedom and options you wouldn't have otherwise. Money does not buy happiness, only up to a certain extent. Money buys happiness when you're doing without. It will provide comfort, it will provide shelter and opportunities you wouldn't be able to pursue otherwise, but it doesn't buy satisfaction. It doesn't buy fulfillment. And that leads us to number 4. How much money do I need for financial freedom? How much is enough? Greed is another big feeling that we typically play to our lives, and if you look at $1 million, it might sound like a lot. But is it really? In the grand scheme of things, it's really not. $1 million for me is more so the starting point, and these are the goals that I'm going off of. What I really want to get to one day is $5 million, $10 million, $20 million. And that's not to buy some big fancy house or buy some nice car. What it's really about is giving myself enough passive income to do whatever. What will that be when I'm 40, 50, 60 years old? There's no telling. Life changes. There's so many things that can change in your life, including your mental state, and who knows where I'll be at that point. But in the meantime, I plan on growing my wealth as much as possible, and trying to use these calculators to forecast where you might be in the future is extremely helpful. However, things can change on a dime. So don't take things for granted. Enjoy the ride, because something I've learned along the lines is that when I started my investing journey in 2018, I was strictly focused on a number. I was only looking at numbers, and while I am still looking at the quantitative, I look at the month over month, I look at the year over year, the more important thing I've learned along the way is the journey. I'm enjoying my time, I'm enjoying my relationships, but overall, this is something that I'm really focusing on the journey rather than the destination. And as long as you're answering these 4 questions, and you're in the right mindset, you're not focused on money, you're not just focused on what you're going to be doing tomorrow, but where you want to be in life, this is really what you need to be doing in terms of the financial independence movement. Because at the end of the day, the Bible says, "He who hastens to be rich shall not go unpunished." And I think this definitely includes people who are pursuing the FIRE movement. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Check out all the stuff down below in the description, including the free $10 for getting signed up with M1 Finance. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.